No segregation. No segregation. No more dogs. No more dogs biting me.
Pictures from the past, but not forgotten. Now we'd like to go over a brief history of America's civil rights movement, a difficult and violent period for African Americans. Between 1954 and 1968, although blacks had suffered since slavery, it was time for a change.
The mood in the black community was about to change. On December 5, 1955, Rosa Parks left work and boarded a bus for the ride home. She sat and rose just behind the section in the bus marked whites only. Soon the bus filled and every seat was taken. 2 white men boarded, and the blacks, as required by law, were told to move further to the back of the bus so the white men could have room to sit. Rosa Parks refused. She was arrested and thrown in jail.
Although there had already been countless blacks who resisted segregation and discrimination, some say Rosa Parks' publicized action marks the beginning of the civil rights movement. Blacks boycotted the segregated bus service, which was ruled illegal by the U.S. Supreme Court.
In Alabama, while protesters demonstrated peacefully, when they reached a park, there was a wall of Birmingham police, firemen with high-pressure water hoses, and police dogs. The firemen aimed their powerful water hoses at the demonstrators, blasting them to the ground, knocking them senseless, ripping off their clothing.
The police dogs clawed, grabbed and bit. Wet and bleeding, the marchers ran. Through it all, news reporters and photographers documented the Birmingham police and fire department attacking children. The face of Southern racism was being revealed.
Blacks were trying to desegregate public facilities and stop the practice of not allowing blacks to sit and eat at lunch counters. There were countless arrests by authorities in charge, with white encouraging violence.
Interestingly, something that received less publicity was when Houston, Texas Southern University students launched a lunch counter sit-in protest in 1960 and showed up at some businesses that didn't want African Americans to eat in their stores.
While the young people were protesting, secretly, behind the scenes, some Houston civic leaders and members of the black community worked out an agreement convincing targeted businesses to integrate and allow blacks in to eat and join white customers, preventing violent confrontations like in other parts of the South. What also helped was that the Houston news media agreed not to report and publicize the desegregation of Houston businesses, which allowed blacks to sit at their lunch counters.
During a voter registration drive through the South, some of the Freedom bus riders were even killed. Although there were many black leaders, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood out.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind.
On Thursday, April 4, 1968, King was in Memphis preparing for yet another march. At 5 o'clock, while King stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, waiting to go to dinner with his supporters, suddenly a shot rang out, and King's men turned to find the leader had been hit with a gunshot. An hour later, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was pronounced dead at the age of 39.
Although the civil rights movement began a long time ago, it seemed a lot more progress is still needed. Don't be among those who discriminate against others. From Sharpstown High School, where the world comes to learn and where students understand the importance of knowing and remembering history.